5:17 in the morning, the central bus terminal hums under the buzz of old fluorescent lights. The benches are cold, and the air is heavy with the kind of exhaustion you feel deep in your bones, thick with unspoken goodbyes. In corner seat number 12, a young woman named Tasha sits hunched over, clutching her 4-year-old daughter Lila to her chest. Tasha is 29. The bags at their feet are stuffed with everything they own in the world. A few changes of clothes, a single toothbrush, and a worn photograph of Lila's father, a man who vanished before she was even born. They are running from an eviction notice, from a dead-end town, from a life that just kept whispering, "Not enough." Lila begins to whimper, and fresh tears streak her already dirty cheeks. "Mr. Buttons is gone," she cries, her small voice cutting through the terminal's low hum. Tasha's heart plummets. Mr. Buttons' Lila's one-eyed threadbare teddy bear must have fallen out of her backpack somewhere between the shelter and the bus station. It wasn't just a toy, it was the only thing in their chaotic world that made Lila feel safe. "I'm so sorry, baby," Tasha whispers, her own voice breaking. "We'll find another." But they both knew that was a promise she couldn't keep, not with only $8 left in her pocket. Across the room, an elderly man in a worn army jacket has been watching them. His name is Walter. He's 74, and he hasn't really spoken to anyone in months, not since his wife passed away and his son stopped calling. He's here to catch a bus to a VA hospital. But if he's being honest with himself, he's mostly here to disappear. But then he sees Lila's tears. He sees the absolute despair on her mother's face, and something inside him, something long frozen and locked away, begins to crack open. Without a single word, Walter gets up from his seat. He walks over to the dusty Lostan found bin near the ticket counter and starts rummaging through it. After a moment, he pulls out a small, bedraggled teddy bear. It's missing one eye, has a stitched-up ear, and a faded blue bow tied around its neck. It's not Mr. Buttons, but it's close. He walks over to Tasha and Lila and gently places the bear in Lila's small hands. "His name's Captain," he says softly. "He's been waiting for someone brave." Lila looks up at him, her wide, tear-filled eyes full of wonder. "He's for me." Walter nods. He likes girls who fight hard. Tasha, overwhelmed, immediately tries to refuse. "We can't," but Walter cuts her off gently. Every kid deserves a guardian bear. He doesn't push. He just sits down on a bench nearby, not asking for thanks, not saying another word. He just watches as Lila hugs the new bear Captain, like he's made of pure magic. A few minutes of silence pass. Then Tasha, her voice trembling, asks, "Why did you do that?" Walter doesn't look at her. He just stares out the large, grimy window into the pre-dawn darkness. "My granddaughter. She loved a bear just like that. She died in a car crash 10 years ago. I never got to say goodbye." Tasha's breath catches in her throat. "I'm so sorry," she manages to say. "I couldn't save her," he whispers, his voice thick with a decade of grief. "But today, I could help you save her." He nods toward Lila, who is now fast asleep against Tasha's shoulder, Captain tucked safely under her chin. A voice over the intercom announces Walter's bus. He slowly stands up to leave, but then he turns back and presses a folded $20 bill into Tasha's hand. For tickets and for breakfast. Before she can even form a word of protest or thanks, he's gone, disappearing into the crowd of weary travelers. But on the seat where he'd been sitting, Tasha finds a small folded note. It reads, "You're stronger than you know." Keep going. Years later, a different woman stands at a bus station. It's Tasha. She's now a social worker leading her own outreach team. They move through the terminal, handing out warm blankets, food, and teddy bears to families in crisis. Each bear has one eye carefully sewn shut, and attached to each one is a small tag that reads, "Captain says you reloved. Tasha never saw Walter again." But every single time she watches a scared child hug one of those bears, she knows some angels don't wear wings. They wear old army jackets and carry kindness in their silence.